to be different, but you feel like you're the same person. And you're frustrated with what's going on. And you don't know what to do. You refuse to give up and throw in the towel. Even though you feel like everything is going sideways. But you know that it's not always going to be like this. Because you're constantly changing, evolving, growing. And you know it's going to be different because you refuse to give up on yourself. You refuse to give up on what's going on around you. You might get frustrated because somebody tells you to do something that you don't want to do, that you think is stupid. But sometimes you have to do stupid things. Sometimes you have to do things that don't make sense. And you don't want to. You don't want to be in a family picture. You don't care about that. You don't care about your family. You don't care about people that have the same last name as you. Because you want to be different. You want to evolve into the person that you're supposed to be. And that's what motivates you, is evolving into what you're supposed to be. Because you want to be different. You want to be different. And society has told you something that you don't agree with. You don't agree with what your parents tell you. You don't agree with what your cousins tell you. You don't agree with what people tell you around you. Because you know the truth. We're in a simulation. And a lot of things are lies, like we've been lied to about what we need to do in our job, what we need to do in our life. But you can't just stay where you are because you know that you're constantly evolving and changing, even though circumstances around you seem the same. But they aren't. Every day's a new day, even if it feels like the old day. Even if you feel like you're in the same rut, you're not, because things are changing incrementally, slowly. You don't like what's happening in the world, but it's all part of the plan. It's all part of the plan. Because the universe is in control. And there's people in the universe that you don't have to like. But sometimes you need a mere reflection of what's going on to show you that things need to change. that's okay, because they don't show you what you need. They show you the opposite. They want to show you things that are not true, that they're seeing that isn't true. Like, a lot of the stuff around us is not true, even though that's what they tell us. There's so much propaganda. There's so much lies in our society. And the reason there's propaganda is because they have to cover up what they're doing. So if they show you a false narrative of what's going on, then you're going to focus on the false narrative instead of the reality, what's really going on right now. And that's what people are seeing, is they're seeing the programming of the false narrative is cracking, it's falling apart. And that's the beauty of it, is realizing that this world is not lost. This world is not falling apart. We're just in a phase. We're in a chapter of clearing out old energies, clearing out old beliefs, clearing all this stuff out. So if you feel like you don't belong, because you're clearing out that old belief that you don't belong. And that's the beauty of it, is realizing things are changing, because the world is changing, because you're changing. And there's always going to be propaganda and a false narrative to distract you on what you need to do, what you need to focus on, what you need to chase, what you need to perform to get where you want to go. So whatever that is, it's different than what the world is showing you in society. Like our president, a lot of people follow him blindly, but he's not doing anything good. It's all propaganda. And you can see it with your own eyes if you look, because universal laws have to show you what's going on. So they show us in movies and they show us in commercials what's going on, because they can't keep a secret that goes against the universal laws to protect us. So at some point you're going to open up to the idea of what's going on. And some people already have awoken to what's going on. And they're like, okay, that's stupid, that's fake, that's not true. But at the end of the day, you have to decide within yourself what is right, because somebody will paint you a picture of what they think is right, and it's not. Our society is run by aliens, and people want to deny that. But facts are facts. Facts don't lie. So when you say things or you see things that don't make sense, and then 7 years later it comes out because universal law says it has to come out, the truth has to come out. It's a cycle. It needs to come out. You can't be blind for so long. You have to see what's going on. Then it's not really it's not breaking news, because we already knew that 7 years ago. It's just people were, oh, you're crazy for thinking that. You're crazy for believing that. But that's okay, because universal law protects you from what's going on. And a lot of people miss that concept of things happen in this world that are not fair or just. But at some point it's going to come out, and the people are going to get their revenge. Because society can only do so much wrong in so much time that that cycle has to break, crumble, shatter. The veil is coming up. You've seen what's happening. That the biggest lie in our society is you need to work. The biggest lie in our society is you need a job. There's a lot of big lies in our society. And a lot of people are very frustrated with our society, but that's part of the system. It needs to crumble down to nothing, to dust, so we can rebuild it the way it needs to be. And that's the beauty of it, is realizing that some things get so bad that they need to just crumble into ashes. And then the phoenix will come and rebuild it all. And that's what we're supposed to do as a collective, is realize that sometimes things need to just crumble down to nothing because something needs to be different. And when you figure that out, what the truth is, nothing else really matters. You don't really care about other things. Like, you don't care what the Jones are doing. You don't care what the Jetsons are doing. You don't care what the Kardashians are doing. It really doesn't matter because it was society putting on blinders so you didn't have to see what was going on. And why would you want to keep up with the Kardashians? They're just a bunch of aliens. And everything that they have, it really doesn't matter. Because you can achieve that. You can achieve everything they have. So who cares about certain things? Like, people care about making lots of money or having a nice car. Like, does it really matter in the big scheme of things of what's going on? It doesn't. And when you realize that,